Thank you, guys. Hi, everybody. My name is Manu Jain. Very glad to be back here. Actually, very glad to be back here, except for the temperature outside. Uh, and I was hoping that maybe we can do a pact with all of you guys that any device or anything that we launch during these months of April, May, June, maybe we should launch them in Bangalore and not in Delhi. So if you guys are okay, from next year onwards, during these months, we would love to invite or host you guys in the wonderful city of Bangalore. So today we are here to launch or to announce two different things. But before we go there, let's talk a little bit about what is happening at Xiaomi India. So Xiaomi continues to remain the #1 smartphone brand in the country. Now for 3 consecutive quarters, Q3, Q4 and Q1. If you look at today, amongst the entire smartphone market, if there are 3 smartphones sold, 1 out of 3 are Xiaomi phones, which means Xiaomi has more than 30% market share in the country. Of course, we started, thank you. Of course, we started with online, and we have been dominating the online segment. Today, we are not only the #1 brand, we have about 60% market share in the online segment, which means, thank you. Which means if there are 3 phones sold online, 2 out of 3 are Xiaomi phones. And we are 6x bigger than the second biggest brand, which is Samsung. If you look at just the online segment, and you look at the top 10 selling phones in the online segment, 9 out of 10 are Xiaomi phones. Each of our phones is a blockbuster hit. Now, around the same time last year, we started building our offline business. We started with building a Mi Home and then many other Mi Preferred Partner stores. And in a short period of 1 year, Xiaomi today has become the second largest smartphone brand in the offline segment, which is pretty incredible because our market share in offline was less than 0.5% in Q1 last year. And in Q1 this year, we had 13% market share, which means our offline business has grown about 25-30 times in 1 single year. And this is when our offline business is still limited to top 30-40 cities. If you look at some of these cities where we have been there for about a year or 9 months, we've already become #1 in the offline segment in these cities, like Chandigarh, Bangalore, Indore. If you look at the GfK data, Xiaomi is today the #1 smartphone brand only in offline in these cities. In each of these cities, we have more than 30% plus market share only in offline. And if you include online sales, probably our market share would be as high as 50-60%. So in all these top 30 cities, we are either #1 or a close #2. And our aim is to expand it to top 100 cities now in next few months. And this has been possible because of a great philosophy of launching amazing products, great specs, highest quality, and honest price. Now, every time we look at the market, we take feedback from our Mi fans, and we try and identify what are the needs of Indian consumers. And if we see a white space, we launch a new product in that particular white space. One such product was Redmi Y1 that we launched about 6 months ago in November last year. Now, Redmi Y1 was a phone which was mainly youth-centric, and it was a first selfie-focused phone. We saw a lot of young people in colleges, people who are first-time jobbers using Redmi Y1. Sometimes you even saw like 4 or 5 people standing together, all of them using a Redmi Y1 phone. We looked at a particular stat that in India, on an average, 50% of the phones which are sold, they are bought by a person under the age group of 24. These are people who are either college students or first-time jobbers. In case of Y1, this number is as high as 57%, which means a lot of young people who are tech evangelists, people who really understand technology, who are passionate about technology, they're the ones who are using Y1. A lot of people said great things about Y1, like Business Standard said, this fulfills the need of selfie lovers. Android Central said, this has a world-class front camera. And Redmi Y1 became the #1 selling selfie phone in India. Now, how do we define selfie phone? Any phone which has a front camera of 8 megapixel or more. Of course, if anything is 2 megapixel or 5 megapixel, we can't call this as a selfie-focused phone. So any phone which is 8 megapixel or above is called as a selfie-focused phone. And even though Y1 was launched in the middle of Q4, but if you look at the latest reports, both in Q4 and Q1, this was the best-selling selfie phone. I have numbers for Q1 here, and these are the top 5 selling selfie phones in the market. Redmi Y1, and then 4 other competition devices. Now, what is interesting is, some of these brands have been selfie-focused for last 4 or 5 years. All their products have been selfie, selfie, selfie. And they've probably spent hundreds of crores, probably if not more, thousands of crores, in promoting this one single value proposition. And still, in a short period of 6 months, Redmi Y1 became the best-selling selfie phone in the country. And today here we are to launch the successor of Y1, which is called as Redmi Y2. Thanks. So Redmi Y2, the 16 megapixel AI selfie camera, and I'll show a quick video to introduce this product. So first thing that you'll notice about Redmi Y2 is it's a 5.99-inch 18:9 full screen display. It has a beautiful brushed metallic finish, very comfortable to hold, very smooth edges. I've been using it for like few months now, very, very comfortable to hold. It has discrete separation lines, both on top and bottom, and which gives it a very beautiful touch. Now with Redmi Y1, we also had something special. We had Katrina Kaif as the product endorser. And I'm happy to share that even with Y2, Katrina will be endorsing this particular product. This product is being launched in 3 different colors: the elegant gold, the amazingly beautiful rose gold. Actually, it looks pretty beautiful on this picture. And my personal favorite, dark gray. So let's talk about this product. The biggest thing about this product is the camera, which we have significantly upgraded both on the front and the back. Let's start with the front camera, the AI selfie superstar. It is powered by a 16 megapixel high resolution sensor, f2.0 aperture, and a 79.8 degree wide angle lens. And on top of it, we have built our AI algorithm. So what does it help with? 4 different things: the low light selfie, auto HDR, the AI beautify, and AI portrait mode. Let's talk about each one of them. Let's start with low light selfie. So Redmi Y2 comes with the pixel binning technology, which means during low light conditions, 4 different pixels will combine together to form a super pixel, which is of an effective size of 2 micron each. And because of these super pixels, the noise reduces. And the kind of picture that you get is of significantly better quality. For example, this one. This has been clicked in low light conditions, still is a beautiful selfie. We also have a selfie light, and this time we have a 4500 Kelvin selfie light, which is very similar to the ambient white light that you see around yourself. And that's why you can take beautiful selfies in low light conditions, like this one. Or you can also use the selfie light to take videos. For example, this video was taken in low light conditions with the selfie LED light of Redmi Y2. Second thing that we're introducing is auto HDR. Now, HDR has been there in selfie, but we introduced Auto HDR with Redmi Note 5 Pro. What it does is, it automatically detects the ambient condition and then decides when the HDR mode should be switched on or switched off. For example, this one. The background changes and the HDR mode gets switched on. And because of HDR, automatically the pictures which are taken are much better. For example, this is without HDR, and the one on the right is with HDR. And you will see here, the entire background is washed away, while the background is a lot more visible, much better in case of HDR. This also works in outdoor condition. For example, here you can see the entire top part, the building, the pillars, they're washed out without HDR, and they're beautifully captured with HDR. The third thing that we are adding is AI Beautify, which is based on our Beautify 4.0 algorithm. And let me show you how this works. Yeah. The common joke in our office is actually you don't need any kind of makeup if you're using our Beautify mode. So our Beautify mode works on 10 different facial features. It tries to identify each one of them, like nose, eyebrows, eyelashes, and then it beautifies each one of them separately. And that's why the kind of pictures that you get are significantly better. We also have India-specific features, like it preserves bindi. Now, this is a pretty common problem with Beautify mode of many other competition devices. Either it smudges them or it completely removes it. And in case of our Beautify, it completely keeps the bindi and beautifies the entire picture. Same for nose pin. The entire picture gets beautified, but you still have the nose pin over there. It also works on facial hair for Indian men, where all the facial hair is captured very beautifully in case of Beautify 4.0. These are some of the pictures which have been captured with Redmi Y2 with the Beautify mode on. Also works on men. The fourth thing that we have added is the portrait selfie. Now, this is again something that we introduced with Redmi Note 5 Pro, and now we are adding to Redmi Y series. So it basically works on our semantic segmentation with deep learning algorithm. And what it does is it basically measures pixel by pixel, and then it identifies which are the pixels which should be kept in the foreground, which is the human being and all the accessories, like including the ribbon on that person, and then blurs everything else. It works in outdoor and indoor. This is actually one of my favorite ones. The color reproduction in the hair is very good, and you see these white light balls in the background. These are some of the portrait selfies taken at Xiaomi India office. So we just moved into a new office in Bangalore. It's a pretty beautiful 750-seater. So you guys should come and visit us. And these are some of the selfies taken in our office. We did a comparison of Redmi Y2 with some of the other best selfie phones. And to do this comparison, we had to create a new device that we call as Swiss knife of selfie sticks. The biggest problem while taking a selfie comparison is that the background might change or the light may change a little bit. So what we do is we create an equipment like this, where you basically stack different devices on one particular object. And then you have a remote control. When you press it, all the phones take selfie at the same time. So we chose 3 different products: Vivo V9, which is a great selfie phone around 25,000 rupee, J7 Duo, which was recently launched, about 15,000 rupee, and Redmi Y2. Let's look at comparison. So these are the 3 comparison shots. I think it produces the best color. But most importantly, if you zoom in, you will see the ribbon on the top is completely washed away in J7 Duo and perfectly captured in case of Redmi Y2. Not just this, if you look at the right-hand side of the picture, and if you see the space between the hand and the body of this girl, you will see J7 Duo does not recognize that this is not part of the body, and hence leaves it over here. While in case of Redmi Y2, it clearly identifies that this is part of the body, this is part of the body, but this is something in the background and beautifully blurs it. Look at another one. This is taken in outdoors again, beautiful color reproduction. But if you look at zoom in and see the edges of the cap, you will see the best edges are captured in case of Redmi Y2, and they're completely washed out in J7 Duo. We took one with Redmi Y2 and Vivo V9. Both are beautifully captured. But what you will see here is, while the edges of the hair are beautifully captured, in this particular case, Vivo V9 is taking a huge margin, which means all these objects in the background, they are not blurred. The margin is very huge, while they're perfectly blurred in the case of Redmi Y2. Then again, Y2 versus J7 Duo, and if you zoom in, you will see the edges of the hair are beautifully captured in case of Y2 as compared to J7 Duo. So you can take amazing selfies in portrait mode, and you can also take amazing group selfies. The usual problem with group selfies when you take in a portrait mode is the person who is taking the selfie is kept in focus and everybody else is blurred. For example, this one was taken today morning with Honor 9 light, and you can see the other 3 people in the portrait mode are blurred because the camera doesn't recognize that these are people who have to be kept in focus. And if you compare it with Redmi Y2, you will clearly see that the remaining 2 people who are even in the background, they are in focus with Redmi Y2 as compared to Honor 9 Lite. These are some of the shots with group portrait selfies. The person standing in the back wearing a green shirt is also in focus. You can also have 4 people in group selfies. This is probably one of my favorite ones because this is not just a group selfie, this has been taken in low light conditions, and you can see each one of them have been perfectly captured. So you can take amazing group selfies and individual selfies with Redmi Y2. We have also upgraded the front camera, so we are introducing our AI dual camera with Redmi Y2. This is actually the same setup, a very similar setup as what we have on Redmi Note 5 Pro, which is a 12 megapixel primary camera with large 1.25 micron pixels and a 5 megapixel secondary camera. Let me take a second here and explain why this is a better setup than 13+2, which is available in the market. If you look at most of the 13+2 phones, the primary 13 megapixel camera is either 1 micron pixel or 1.12 micron pixel. In our case, because we use a large 1.25 micron pixels, it helps capture more light, and hence the color that you see over there is significantly better than 13 megapixel 1 or 1.12 micron pixel. And 5 megapixel helps in better edge detection, and hence the portrait mode that you see is significantly better. In fact, 12+5 with 1.25 micron pixel is a lot costlier than 13+2 with 1 or 1.12 micron pixel. This helps in 2 things, the portrait mode and low light photography. Portrait mode, as I explained, this also works on semantic segmentation, and it helps you capture beautiful pictures like this one. The thing that I liked the most about this picture was this has a natural bokeh. Of course, the colors are perfect, but if you see on the right-hand side, as the corridor keeps going deeper and deeper, the amount of bokeh or blur keeps increasing. This one, again, beautifully captured. This was shot in Bangalore on MG Road, this particular picture. This large 1.25 micron pixel also helps with low light photography. The way this works is, and by the way, we used to have phones with 1 micron pixel 2 years ago. And then we introduced 1.12 micron pixel, and then now 1.25. Because each pixel size is bigger, as I said, they capture more light, and you get better pictures. We have 3 phones here, all 3 of them with same megapixel, but one with 1 micron pixel, one with 1.12, and one with 1.25. And you will see from a distance they will look very similar to each other. But the difference will be a lot clearer when you zoom in. You will see the smartphone one with 1 micron pixel gets a little bit smushed, while it's the most clear and sharp in case of Redmi Y2 with large 1.25 micron pixel. These are some of the sample shots in low light conditions. This was taken at a club. This is Times Square in New York. And my personal favorite, which has been taken during a sunset. So Redmi Y2 is a camera superstar, great front camera, great back camera, and it will be shipped with Android O out of the box and with MIUI 9.5. Now, we have spoken a lot about MIUI 9.5, but there's one specific feature that I love, and I would like to talk about it, which is the smart photo editing. Now, you would have faced this kind of a problem that when you are taking a picture, there would be somebody standing in the background, and you can't do anything about it. Or there would be some object that you cannot move. And with a smart photo editing, you go over there, you just click on it, and that object or that person is removed. It just gives you much cleaner and nicer pictures. So that's what Y2 will be shipped with Android O and MIUI 9.5. We're also introducing the AI-based face unlock, and because of our AI algorithm, it is a lot more secure and a lot faster. And it also comes with a fingerprint sensor on the back that you can use for unlock, or you can use it for taking selfies. I actually take most of my selfies using the fingerprint sensor, and I find it to be incredibly helpful. Now, Redmi Y2 is powered by Snapdragon 625. Actually, I was not expecting. I was expecting a lot of people to say, again, Redmi Snapdragon 625. So yes, of course, we really think that 625 is a great processor, amazing power and performance, especially in this price segment. I don't think there's anybody else who has introduced a Snapdragon 600 series in this price segment. There was a phone launched this week itself, which is Snapdragon 400 series in 14,000-15,000 rupee price range. And there's nobody else, and there's no processor which will come similar or even close to Snapdragon 625 when it comes to power and performance. Y1 was launched with Snapdragon 435, and Y2 is with 625, which means it is 37% faster and a massive upgrade over Y1. And thanks to the 14 nanometer FinFET technology, it also gives you a great battery life. So even though the battery is similar of 30,080 mAh, but because of this 14 nanometer FinFET technology, it can easily last for more than a day. The standby time on this particular device is 31 days, and if you watch video continuously, it can last for more than 10 hours. We have a dedicated SIM slot, 2+1, dedicated for micro SD. Thank you. And every single unit of Redmi Y2 will be shipped with a free clear case inside the box. And of course, 100% of Redmi Y2 will be made locally here in the country. Now, while we're expanding our manufacturing units in the country, there's something that we're really focusing on, which is quality. Now, I was at a factory a few weeks ago. In fact, this is me holding one of the first few PCBAs that have been manufactured in India. As you know, we have started manufacturing PCBAs, and by next quarter Q3, we really hope 100% of Made in India phones will have locally manufactured PCBAs. Let me show you a quick video on what do we do with respect to quality.
We believe in making quality technology accessible for all our Mi fans. Our smartphones adhere to uncompromising quality standards. All Xiaomi devices are subjected to numerous software and hardware tests, which comply to rigorous testing standards. These tests ensure that our Mi fans get to enjoy the best possible quality devices. We believe in offering unparalleled design with prioritization of quality over everything else.
Xiaomi.
Now, we do a lot of tests. Like one of the tests that we do is we drop devices from 1 meter height on 6 different surfaces, and sometimes as many number of times as 200 times to see if the device is working fine or not. We insert the headphone jack, remove it almost like 5,000 times. Some things like sidebar, fingerprint sensor, we test 5 lakh times, 6 lakh times. But these are the kind of stats that a lot of other brands can come and share. Or you would have seen similar kind of videos from many other brands. So how do you know that Xiaomi phones are genuinely better quality than any other brand in the country? The output metric of all these quality tests is something what we call as FFR, Field Failure Rate. This means if we sell 100 devices, how many of these devices come back with any kind of complaint, whether it be hardware or software, during the lifetime of the product. And there is no external report on field failure rate. It's very difficult to get, but we capture field failure rate of all competition devices as well as Xiaomi devices. And what we here have is the average of top 5 brands in India versus Xiaomi. This is based on our internal data. We believe that Xiaomi's field failure rate, which is the ultimate truth with respect to quality, is about half of what the other top 5 brands have in the country. And that is one of the reasons why the positive word of mouth for Xiaomi is incredibly high as compared to any other brand in the country. And even if people face problem, we have a huge service network, more than 750 service centers across the country. And in case of any cases, we can resolve them within few hours. Today, more than 95% of the cases we are able to resolve within 4 hours. So that's Redmi Y2, guys, a significant upgrade over Redmi Y1. Redmi Y1 was a 16 megapixel front camera. Redmi Y2 is 16 megapixel AI front camera. Redmi Y1 had a single 13 megapixel 1.12 micron pixel camera, while Y2 is 12 plus 5 with large 1.25 micron AI dual camera. 5.5 inch versus 5.99 inch, 18:9 full screen display, Snapdragon 435 versus Snapdragon 625, Android O and AI face unlock. The second thing that we are announcing today is MIUI 10. This is something that we launched in China last week, and I'm happy to share within a week we are bringing it to India. And to talk more about this, I'll call on stage my colleague Sudeep.
Thank you, Manu. Hi, my name is Sudeep Sao, and I'm a product manager here at Xiaomi. Now, not many of you might know this, but MIUI was the first product that I experienced from Xiaomi. And this is our first version in 2010. And MIUI has come a long way ever since. In the span of 8 years, we have had 9 different versions. Just last year, we launched the MIUI 9 here in India. And this was particularly, we had speed focus for this MIUI version. And you guys really loved it. And today, I'm really excited to announce the 10th edition of our MIUI here in India. And there are 4 key areas that I'm going to be sharing with you for MIUI 10. First is speed, second is design, third is sound, and AI portraits. All right, so in MIUI 9, we had half a dozen of system optimization. Now, all of this was to make sure MIUI is as fast as ever. In MIUI 10, we are introducing 2 more critical system optimization, namely lock-free critical path and code-dependent prioritizing. Now, this ensures that the overall smoothness of MIUI has increased over 10% of the predecessor version. Now, you might be wondering how fast this really is in the real world. So let's do a comparison. We're taking the Redmi Note 5 with MIUI 10 and the Samsung J7 Duo phone. To do the speed test, what we do in the lab is we run all this application and we calculate which application opens first. And we obviously do this under high-speed camera. So let's take a look at the video. So as you saw in the video, Redmi Note 5 Pro with MIUI 10 opened 23 apps versus the 7 from the competitor. That's almost 3 times more application which was opened faster and quicker. So with MIUI 10, we are taking one step further, and we will continue to keep speed as the focus for all the MIUI version in the coming days. So next, let's talk about design, my favorite section. So ever since we have launched the Mi Mix in the world, the entire mobile industry has moved to a full screen era. Now at MIUI, the whole design team has been rethinking how to change our operating system to adapt to this new change. Now this is a huge challenge for all of us here, because every single change that we make is touched by millions of people who use MIUI every single day. So what we did is, the first step, we got rid of the hardware buttons and we introduced the soft keys. But still we think this is not the full optimum usage of the full screen displays. For that, we had full screen display gestures, where we replaced the 3-key Android keys with respective gestures. To go to home screen, all you have to do is swipe from the bottom, and to go back, swipe from the edges, and swipe from bottom and hold it to go to the recent view. Now, a lot of you guys really loved it, and trust me, once you start using gestures on phone, be it on application and especially on MIUI 10, you just can't go back. In fact, I toggle between a lot of phones every single day, and sometimes I just miss this feature for other phones also. We also have looked at the evolution of the aspect ratios. Now, earlier phones used to come in 16:9, and today we also have 19:9 ratio. If you look at the top, we have a lot of screen space. The phones are getting taller and taller every single day. And this is one area we wanted to improve. To take for example, the iOS, the stock Android, and our own MIUI. Now with this view, it's fine, it's okay, it does the job. But it has horizontal stack, so you can only see one card at a time. Also, if you notice on the top and the bottom, there's a lot of space which is kind of unused. So in MIUI 10, we are completely redesigning our recent view, and we look for inspiration none other than our own Notes app. So if you look at the Notes app, you see what we have done here with this animation. So we beautifully stack all the cards, and you can swipe instead of horizontally, vertically, which I think is more natural. You can also swipe to remove the task, or long press for quick shortcuts like split view. So that's the brand new recent screen. We didn't stop at redesigning just recent view. We also looked at our own design language. Now these are some of the older device phones with the forehead, chin, and this design kind of looks fine. But if you take it to a full screen device, you will notice there is a strong sense of segregation with block design and bold colors. So in MIUI 10, we are redesigning our complete operating system. We are removing some of the unwanted extra decoration and visual clutters, and we are restructuring the whole layout and regrouping the items based on the type. So now the MIUI 10 notification, calendar, and weather app looks completely new. It's fresh and crisp. We have done that across the system. These are some of the examples. We have weather app with beautiful animation. We have calendar, which looks super clean. We have also designed our home screen, the lock screen. We have voice memo in Notes app, which is really cool. And my personal favorite, the clock app, it's an all black theme. So that's MIUI 10, designed for a full screen experience with keeping in mind the new aspect ratios, which is ever evolving. Next, let's talk about sound. Now, this is kind of also always overlooked because sound is not part of a design, but we at Xiaomi we think sound is a part of design and very key element. And to be honest, sound kind of makes it tired because you have tons of application and you keep getting bombarded with a ton of notifications. So we thought to look at nature sound, because nature sound never stops inspiring us. It's kind of very soothing. Sound of the desert, and this is the sound of a forest. Now you might ask me, why nature's sound? That's the reason, because nature sound is very pleasant, and no matter how long or how often you listen to this nature sound, your ears never get fatigued or burned out. Let's take an example of water droplets. Listen carefully to the different tones of water droplets here. So we are using the same water droplet as our default notification in MIUI 10. So next time, when you get a notification on your phone, you will hear this. And in case you if you get multiple notifications, just like the water droplets. And together, if you get ton of notification, you have a nice rhythm and a tone to it. As the saying goes, no two leaves are alike. No two notification sound in MIUI are the same. This is another example we took, the sound of a breeze in a desert. So next time when you delete anything in MIUI, you will hear this, which is built right into the core of the system. In this example, I deleted a Notes app with 2-finger swipe gesture, but even if you delete a photo from a gallery app, you will hear the same soothing sound. Now we have been exploring and collecting a ton of these sound in our library, so we thought of doing something more. So in MIUI 10, we are introducing the ambient noises of nature, and this you can find in a timer app. Now you might wonder why introduce this in a timer app. To be honest, these ambient noises can help you relax and focus, or also during meditation or a yoga session. Personally, I use it to focus on work when I have to do multitasking, or if you go on a code sprint for like an hour or two, I think this will help a lot. You should check it out. So in MIUI 10, we are having few of these ambient noises built in. The first one is the beach. Kind of makes you feel that you are at the beach right now. We also have forest. This is especially good. Actually, I put this on my timer last night when I went back to sleep late. We also have drizzle, which signifies the monsoon and helps you really relax and focus. So that's the sound. We have used nature sound and ambient noises built right into the system of MIUI 10. Up next is AI portraits. Okay. To be frank and honest, the portrait mode in a dual camera has completely changed the way we take pictures and the amount of pictures we take every day. And I think everyone knows how this works already. The primary lens basically keeps the subject in focus, and the secondary lens keeps identifies the depth in the scene. And it creates a beautiful bokeh effect. But the real question is, can you do the same in a single lens camera? Or in this case, a Mi fan asked me, can we do this on a Redmi phone? Because that's what people are buying a lot these days here in India. So of course the answer is yes. Using our deep algorithms, learning algorithms, we ran this over hundreds and thousands of photos, and now we can achieve similar portrait mode even in a single camera lens. For example, here we have taken Redmi Note 4. This is the front camera, and with MIUI 10, you can get such bokeh and clear effects. This also works in low light and indoor conditions. This is on a Redmi Note 3. Again, this was a phone which was launched 2 years back, and with MIUI 10, you can achieve very similar or high quality selfie portraits. Not just front camera, we can also do it on the rear camera. So this is a phone, this is Redmi Note 5 Pro taken without the MIUI 10, and with MIUI 10, we can achieve beautiful bokeh mode with true depth details. This is another example, Redmi Note 4's rear camera, and MIUI can 10 do magic with its MIUI AI portraits. So we are introducing this first on all the supported device, first on the front camera, and then we'll move and introduce it to the rear cameras. All right, let's talk about India customization. Just a refresher, we announced Mi Music last month with association with Hungama. You have over 10 million high quality soundtracks, and my favorite, the dynamic lyrics for the perfect karaoke night sessions. We also introduced Mi Video on the same day, which has over 500,000 hours of content from all the content partners that have partnered with us for Mi TV. So same content on your phone. Next is browser. Now browser is one of the most used application on your system. And in MIUI 10, we are introducing something called app section. Now, when you click on the app section, you have all the local services categorized in the utility, shopping, travel, entertainment, and news. Now, these are not native app, but they are progressive web apps. Progressive web apps has a lot of advantages. You can get notification, you can create shortcuts, and it behaves almost as close to native Android app experience. For example, let's take Flipkart, Book My Show, and Make My Trip. If you click on any of those links, you will see the exact experience what you will find when you install the app from a Play Store. So all the services that you need are only a single tap away, no matter if you want to book ticket, or your hotel, flight tickets, or shop, if you want to shop or book a movie tickets, all stacked up in one place so that you can easily access the services. Up next is digital payment. Now, a lot of you guys have moved over to digital transaction. Personally, I don't keep any cash in my wallet these days. And you see a lot of these Paytm QR codes. So we wanted to do something on that in MIUI 10. So, yeah. So we are introducing a quick shortcut from a camera app. Now, you might wonder why a camera app. Camera app is always accessible. A key focus for us at MIUI for